Webisode 57DHXWPb, August 19th, 2025. The Apprehensive, a game show about climate change. Part 1 of 8. The Apprehensive, a game show. Cell 1. Larry the Litigator, a handsome young blonde man, is the game show host of The Apprehensive, which has a gaudy will behind him. Larry the Litigator says, "Come on down." Cell 2. Larry the Litigator says, "Today we have 3 contestants. Who is the most apprehensive about climate change?" Cell 3. Contestant number 1, a near neighbor of an indoor residential wood burner Senora Signpost. Cell 4. Contestant number 2, a near neighbor of an industrial wood-burning power facility Senior Postman. Part 2 of 8. The Apprehensive, a game show. Cell 1. Larry the Litigator, a handsome young blonde man, is the game show host of The Apprehensive, which has a gaudy will behind him. Larry the Litigator says, "Contestant number 3, Generay Shon Z." Cell 2. Larry the Litigator asks, "You have a question, Generay Shon Z?" Cell 3. Generay asks, "What does apprehensive mean?" Cell 4. Larry the Litigator answers, "Anxious or fearful that something bad or unpleasant will happen." Part 3 of 8. The Apprehensive, a game show. Larry the Litigator, a handsome young blonde man, is the game show host of The Apprehensive, which has a gaudy will behind him. Cell 1. Generay says, "Oh, being apprehensive is like facing an existential threat." Cell 2. Larry the Litigator says, "A threat to your existence, yes." Cell 3. Generay asks, "Like I am going to die today or in the next 30 seconds?" Cell 4. Larry the Litigator answers, "Ridiculous. This soundstage is sealed against wood burning PM 2.5, whatever the source." Part 4 of 8. The Apprehensive, a game show. Larry the Litigator, a handsome young blonde man, is the game show host of The Apprehensive, which has a gaudy will behind him. Cell 1. Generay Shon Z says, "I am conditioned to focus on fossil fuel burning air pollution." Cell 2. Larry the Litigator says, "So you bought a wood-burning fire pit yesterday because of the advertising?" Cell 3. Generay says, "What is it to you?" Belligerently, with the fire pit burning behind him. Cell 4. Larry the Litigator answers, "Frankly, the only winner will be a heat pump rebate user." Belligerently, with a heat pump behind him. Part 5 of 8. The Apprehensive, a game show. Larry the Litigator, a handsome young blonde man, is the game show host of The Apprehensive, which has a gaudy will behind him. Cell 1. Generay Shon Z says, "I see wood burning wildfire smoke has left my city." Cell 2. Larry the Litigator says, "You think you are free to burn wood in your stove or fireplace again?" Cell 3. Generay says, "What is it to you?" Belligerently, with a smoky, wood-burning stove burning behind him. Cell 4. Larry the Litigator answers, "Frankly, freedom to burn wood harms your neighbor." Belligerently, with a heat pump behind him. Part 6 of 8. The Apprehensive, a game show. Larry the Litigator, a handsome young blonde man, is the game show host of The Apprehensive, which has a gaudy will behind him. Cell 1. Generay Shon Z says, "If I plant a tree, it will get rid of CO2 from wood burning." Cell 2. Larry the Litigator says, "It takes decades or centuries to attain the stature of the tree cut down and burned." Cell 3. Larry the Litigator says, "And a tree closes its pores against PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning." Cell 3. Larry the Litigator says, "Just like humans hold their breath from PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning, with an older man and woman behind him holding their breath." Part 7 of 8. The Apprehensive, a game show. Larry the Litigator, a handsome young blonde man, is the game show host of The Apprehensive, which has a gaudy will behind him. Cell 1. Larry the Litigator says, "When a tree closes its pores, it absorbs much less or no CO2. Cell 2. Larry the Litigator says, "So wood burning emits CO2 and PM 2.5 that remains even if you plant another tree." Cell 3. Generay Shon Z says, "I am going to Burning Man, where I am understood by cool rich people." With a burning man on fire in the distance. Cell 4. Larry the Litigator says, "You risk losing the grand prize of The Apprehensive." Part 8 of 8. The Apprehensive, a game show. Larry the Litigator, a handsome young blonde man, is the game show host of The Apprehensive, which has a gaudy will behind him. Cell 1. Larry the Litigator says, "Contestants 1 and 2 know that wood burning produces 2 times the PM 2.5 as coal burning." Cell 2. Larry the Litigator says, "Wood burning produces 450 times the PM 2.5 as natural gas burning." Cell 3. Generay Shon Z says, "I am going to websites that understand the need to burn wood." With a computer behind him. Cell 4. Larry the Litigator says, "Stay tuned to see which posts on the internet win the grand prize." Part 9 of 9 The Apprehensive, a game show. Larry the Litigator, a handsome young blonde man, is the game show host of The Apprehensive, which has a gaudy will behind him. Cell 1, an older woman, says as contestant 1, I posted about how wood burning by a near neighbor makes me ill. Cell 2, an older man, says as contestant 2, I posted about how wood burning by an industrial plant makes me ill. Cell 3, Generay Shon Z, says I created a website that shows how wood burning emits more PM 2.5 than fossil fuel burning. Cell 4, Larry the Litigator, says the grand prize is a 3-part tie. Gen Z got rid of the wood burning. Cat's corner strategy with Tiger and Leone, saying the quiet part out loud. Roar. Hi, I am Tiger. Our human asked us to get up from our naps and start Cat's corner strategy with Tiger and Leone. She gave us a list of internet allies which we will post for her here.
Hi, I am Leone. It is better for your mental fitness to go to these websites than to go to bro sites for advice. Substack letters from an American Heather Cox Richardson. Substack your local epidemiologist. The Midas Touch. The Guardian. The New York Times.
One introduction. Rosette view. The United States government was on track in the Biden administration to reduce the prices for both clean energy heat pumps and clean energy electric cars. Trump tariffs are expected to upset those plans to prevent future air pollution and prevent climate change. The United States government should, instead of certifying wood stoves as safe when they are not safe, go forward with regulations that ban wood stove use and direct government money for use of forest refuse only for home building and furniture building. For just a few examples of use of forest products for non-burning uses, it is well known from scientific and medical research that wood burning is a substantial source of PM 2.5 emissions, yet the wood burning industry uses the scientifically debunked theory named carbon neutrality of wood burning to argue that wood burning replacing coal burning in industry, and in a trickle-down argument that wood burning should continue for home heating should continue. Presumably because it is called renewable, wood may be renewable in the sense that a tree can be planted in the place of a cut-down burned tree. But it takes centuries or decades for the newly planted tree to attain the stature of the cut-down burned tree. During those centuries or decades, photosynthesis, which converts CO2 to oxygen, and so sequesters some carbon, will not take place at the same rate as photosynthesis was performed previously, and wood burning emits both CO2 and PM 2.5, and PM 2.5 is not absorbed by trees, so PM 2.5 is not diminished by planting a tree in the place of a cut down and burned tree. In fact, a living tree closes its pores against the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning, just as humans hold their breath in the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning. And when a tree closes its pores, the level of photosynthesis that absorbs CO2 pollution goes down. Wood burning emits 90% PM 2.5 particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lung, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. Contrary to many beliefs, wood burning emits 2.8 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel coal burning, and wood burning emits 450 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel natural gas burning. Replacing coal burning with wood burning creates more air pollution in the form of CO2 and PM 2.5 than coal burning. This emission data comes from testing the cleanest burning wood stove in the United Kingdom. The Eco-Design Wood Stove and International Convention does not count the emissions from wood burning. The emissions from wood burning are erased from all countries around the world when calculating if each country has met its climate goals. This non-counting or erasure of wood burning emissions data from climate goals does not mean wood burning emissions do not exist. Rosette view. Purple air. PM 2.5 monitors hanging from the eaves of the house of a near neighbor should be used to measure the level of PM 2.5 in the air hyperlocally in the yards of near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners. If PM 2.5 levels exceed World Health Organization standards of 5 micrograms per cubic meter annually, then that evidence of air pollution from wood burning should lead to the shutdown of that indoor residential wood burning appliance, one appliance at a time if necessary.